The Nigerian National Coalition Group, or what you may call the National Coalition of Political Parties, have finally taken a very big, bold step. Yes, many of you may have seen that over the weeks, over the months, anti-Tinubu coalition group, so to say, these experienced politicians across the width and breadth of Nigeria came together and said enough is enough, and they decided to form a coalition that will remove President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the year 2027. Earlier, it was more like a gossip or speculation, but it is now a reality. Therefore, this Nigerian National Coalition Group, NNCG, decided to write to INEC to officially register a new political party they have agreed on to run for the 2027 presidential race. And that new political party is called ADA, All Democratic Alliance. And the active members of these coalition groups remain
Welcome back to my channel, my people. Wow, this one is very good news. The video you guys are about to watch now is the moment Atiku, Peter Obi and rufai officially announced a coalition group. This coalition group is throughout Tinubu 2027 has officially launched, and they already registered it. And I want you guys to listen to this our brother, how he analyzed everything and also what is going to happen in 2027. And if this is the first time watching my video, please do me a favor to subscribe. So anytime I bring this type of video, you'll be the first person to watch. Thank you guys and enjoy the rest of the video. So Tinubu is in big trouble in 2027.
The Nigerian National Coalition Group, or what you may call the National Coalition of Political Parties, have finally taken a very big, bold step. Yes, many of you may have seen that over the weeks, over the months, anti-Tinubu coalition group, so to say, these experienced politicians across the width and breadth of Nigeria came together and said enough is enough, and they decided to form a coalition that will remove President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the year 2027. Earlier, it was more like a gossip or speculation, but it is now a reality. Therefore, this Nigerian National Coalition Group, NNCG, decided to write to INEC to officially register a new political party they have agreed on to run for the 2027 presidential race. And that new political party is called ADA, All Democratic Alliance. And the active members of these coalition groups remain Chief or Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, Mr. Nazer El-Rufai, Rotimi Amaechi. Peter Obi was at some point equally brought into this very coalition. And from all indication, Chief Ralph Aregoshola is now part of this group. David Mark is equally now one of the active members of this group, from the Middle Belt, or what you call the North Central. This very information is becoming more public after one of the Alhaji Atiku Abubakar support group on X handle equally made a publication stating in clear terms that the leadership, across the geopolitical zones have been appointed. And for the North, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar will be the leader for the Northeast, while David Mark will be the leader for the North Central, and Nazer El-Rufai will be the leader for the Northwest. And when you come to the South, Rotimi Amaechi will be the leader for the South-South, while Mr. Peter Obi will be the leader for the Southeast, and Ralph Aregoshola will be the leader for the Southwest. I am not surprised seeing the name of Aregoshola on this very list, because if any of you is very meticulous in keeping records, you will understand that in May 23rd or May 25th, that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar was welcomed by Aregoshola. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar claimed he was having a breakfast with Ralph Aregoshola. I knew it deep down in myself that that was, a political move which is centered or centers on the coalition. So I'm not surprised seeing Aregoshola on that very list. So I said it in my previous video that both the Wounded Lions and interest group will join this coalition to make sure that Tinubu does not return, as a president come 2027. So the group has sent this letter to INEC telling them to register the new political party, ADA, All Democratic Alliance. It was signed by a pro-tem, national chairman, one Mr. Akin Eriket. Pro-tem is more like a temporal, national chairman. Pro-tem is just from the Latin word called pro tempore. For the time being, is a temporal national chairman. Later on, a new national chairman will be officially, appointed or elected into office. So in overall, it's a good step in the right direction. However, I want to unequivocally say something here. This coalition will definitely fail to achieve its purpose. I know that the purpose is to remove Tinubu from office, but that purpose will be woefully lost, not achieved, if for any reason this coalition fails to understand that Ni iru di mma na elafia, iru di mma ka eji elafia, na good face na in the sell market. If they fail to realize that Peter Obi is the only face that if he becomes the presidential flag bearer of this new political party ADA, that is the only condition under which Tinubu will be defeated from office in 2027. Believe you me. And again, why am I saying this? I do know that Atiku is interested in becoming a president. Nazer El-Rufai is interested in becoming a president. Rotimi Amaechi is interested in becoming a president. And I keep asking myself, if these people truly want or have the interest of Nigeria at heart, why is all of them still having interest of becoming president? Let me start from Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar at this point in time should be more concerned on building Nigeria and not becoming a president, just like Tinubu. Tinubu just wanted to write his name on the sand of history in Nigeria as a president. He did not prepare for anything. The 30 years he claimed he was preparing for was simply preparing to take power from Goodluck Jonathan through Buhari and all of that. He didn't prepare for leadership. That being established, so Atiku should be more concerned about, rescuing Nigeria, rendering his unalloyed support to a credible, competent, publicly accepted candidate, which is Peter Obi, to run for president. I don't know why he's still insisting. When I saw or heard that he was offering Peter Obi a vice president position, that he will give him power after 4 years, deep down in my heart, I knew it was a very ridiculous offer. You know what I mean? And secondly, Rotimi Amaechi, who is also going about speaking how hungry Nigerians are and all of that, as if he has the overall interest of Nigeria or Nigerians at heart. We must not forget in a hurry the role Rotimi Amaechi played in bringing APC into power in this country, Nigeria. Right from the year 2015, when he became the Director General of Buhari's campaign organization, he was equally accused those years of using the River State Fund to fund Buhari's election into office. And as if that was not enough, in 2020, he maintained categorically by himself that he has given his support for Buhari, and that is the reason he cannot join Goodluck Jonathan. Goodluck Jonathan is his brother, but he campaigned against him. Goodluck Jonathan was a better president than Buhari in all ramification, in all portfolio, in all personality level. But Rotimi Amaechi played a role to remove Goodluck Jonathan from office. In 2020, he said that he's appointed or he's designed and made by God to win. That if Goodluck Jonathan is fighting him, that Goodluck will fail because he's fighting the glory of God upon his life. What a statement. So when you look at the role he played for APC to be in power today, you now begin to ask yourself, why then is he fighting against Tinubu today? There is a reason. It is simply because of his own political interest. And that his own political interest stems from the fact that many, some unconfirmed news says that he had an agreement with Buhari, that Buhari was going to make him the South president after his tenure. But he didn't know that Tinubu was already also having another plan with Buhari to becoming the president. Although it was obvious from the beginning of time that Buhari didn't want to support Tinubu. From all indication, possibly Buhari was more interested in Amaechi than Tinubu. But somehow, Tinubu maneuvered his way into becoming the president of Nigeria. So, because of non-fulfillment of that agreement with Rotimi Amaechi, and Tinubu stylishly or cunningly taking power, what should have become his, he decided to now work against Tinubu, of which both of them happen to be party members, APC. So his allegiance to the coalition is not entirely because he wants to rescue Nigeria. It is simply because he didn't scale through with his own political whims and caprices. The same thing applies to Nazer El-Rufai. Nazer El-Rufai, we still have records of all he did as a governor in Kaduna State. There was a time, himself made it clear that it was the Christians in Nigeria, the northern Christians, that were responsible for Boko Haram, that they are the one funding Boko Haram just to tarnish the image of, Islam. That man made that statement. One of the Catholic or Christian journals published it some time ago. And we can tell, without mixing words, how Christians were butchered in Kaduna State those years. He has been part and parcel of the federal government. He was a former FCT minister some time ago, I think between 2003 and to 2007. So his allegiance to the coalition is equally because he didn't scale through with his own, political interest, with his own political whims and caprices. So, and now he felt like the best thing is also to fight, the ruling government, which is the government of Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So if you begin to weigh into personalities, peoples with track record, Peter Obi remains the only man with a more better portfolio, to go into this combatant with Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu and defeat Tinubu holistically come 2027. This, however, does not mean that Atiku, Nazer El-Rufai, Rotimi Amaechi, David Mark, they are not important. No, they are very, very important. All these men with their different experiences are important in building, that allegiance, getting grassroots support that will actually, truly overthrow Tinubu from office. But when any of them becomes the presidential flag bearer, it will not sell. It will not be marketed across Nigeria, trust me. So Peter Obi remains the only prudent the only man who is currently standing at a vantage point to becoming the president of Nigeria come 2027. So it must be clear to all members of the coalition, Nigeria National Coalition Group, that if they make the mistake of not flying Peter Obi as the flag bearer, the coalition will die. The coalition will not achieve its purpose. It will not sell. They will eventually waste their money for nothing. I sincerely hope that this message gets to them and to many of the Akaku's members to understand what they are up against. As it is in Nigeria, Nigerians deep down in their heart are truly clamoring for change of governance, because things are hard. The hardship is too much and the government is not helping matters. We have a problem in Nigeria, and this coalition is meant to solve that problem. And if we go by some of the problem solving tools, using 8D for example and ignoring 5Y, assembling a competent team with the required skill to solve the problem, that is the coalition. And before we talk about the problem description or talking about the descriptions of the problem, I think a leader needs to be selected. And that leader here we are talking about is the presidential flag bearer, and that is Peter Obi. The problems we have in Nigeria involves a lot. Squandermania, high-handedness, high cost of governance, favoritism, insecurity, number one on the list. We need a man who will be decisive enough to solve the insecurity problem. And well, at this point, I'll allow you guys to be the judge. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section and share this video. Man, another person see him. God bless you.